Hey, still Timber Sports fans, Ryan McIntyre here, your host of TIMBERChats. Welcome once again. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking with Trevor Schofield. He's a still Timber Sports athlete here in Canada. Friend of mine for probably 15 years and a great guy and one of the most fit and toughest individuals I've ever come across. I think you'll enjoy it. So sit back and enjoy. Hi, folks. Welcome once again to TIMBERChats. I'm your host, Ryan McIntyre. On today's show, I'm here with Trevor Schofield. Trevor, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good now. Had a little accident at work a few weeks ago, but recovering quickly.
A little accident, he says. Trevor, what's a little accident to you?
I do some arborist work, tree removal, and I taken out a bunch of trees one day, and it was late in the day, so I left a couple high stumps. So the next day I went up and the first one it was 30 feet high, and I just went up and took firewood rounds off it and came down, filled my saw up and started to go up to the next one and threw my lanyard around the tree and started up. It was only about 15 feet tall, but got to the top and leaned back and nothing there. My lanyard came undone, so I guess I must get complacent and didn't have it hooked properly. Maybe a piece of clothing or something, being wintertime, was hooked in the end of the lanyard. So went over backwards, and because the tree was getting a little bigger, I had the 661 on my right hip. So I landed on the saw, and couldn't move when I hit the ground. Ended up calling the ambulance for me and took me to the hospital. I drove the spikes for the dogs and the saw in my back of my right leg, just behind my knee. So it was quite sore, and got 4 broken ribs on my right side and badly bruised my liver. That was actually the most painful, I think, for the first couple of weeks. It's starting to be able to get around now, but it could have been worse. Unfortunate accident, but it shows how bad something can be. From my feet were probably less than 10 feet off the ground, but it's not how far you fall, it's how you land lots of times. So lots of times 60, 80 feet in a tree or more, and I've built towers over 200 meters tall. But been climbing for over 20 years, but it just shows it only takes one little mishap, forget one thing, and it could be the end of you.
Man, that's scary, Trev. Holy cow. Well, I'm happy to hear you're healing up all right. You were saying right before we started there that it sounds like you're going to be good to go for the series this year. That's good to hear.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. It's still, the series close to 4 months away, I guess. So, the leg is already getting quite a bit better than the liver, so it's just the broken ribs, which is uncomfortable, but within a month or so I should be up and at it. We're getting back in shape at the gym pretty good there, I thought, over the winter, and then this year is gonna put all those gains behind me, so I'm gonna be starting from scratch again. I've been trying to do, now that my leg stuff's feeling better, trying to do a little bit with my leg, just staying active and walking, and my son Wyatt helped me build a little box. Or he was doing box jumps. I'm not to the point where I can jump yet, but just stepping up and down off the box and up and down the stairs as much as I can, kind of thing, to keep my legs in shape. But I still can't lift much with my upper body, but especially my right side. The 4 broken ribs are all on the one side, but doing what I can to stay in shape without overdoing it.
Yeah, well, staying in shape for you is quite impressive feat to do. You're one of the most fit individuals I think I've ever met. And I remember you sending me a text saying when you got hurt, that you were disappointed because you were finally starting to feel like you were getting in shape. And I was thinking that's a bit scary to think about. That what you were before was in better shape than like 99% of the people I've ever met. So it's scary to me to think of what you finally getting in shape on your terms means. So that's a bit much, but so for anybody watching that doesn't know, maybe doesn't know Trevor, like Trevor and I have known each other for quite a while. met working out the same logging operation out in Vancouver Island, BC, and Port Alice. And I remember that you'll probably remember they were filming that Discovery Channel show, Trev, the World's Toughest Tribes.
Yes, I remember that. And I think that was about 2007, give or take.
There you go.
Yeah. It was quite a few years ago. A couple of years before I left out there, we both ended up leaving within a few months of each other. I think moved back to Nova Scotia, but it was good times. It was hard work out there, but I enjoyed it. That was kind of a fun experience. With Ben, his name was, I guess, came, and he was going around the world and trying some of the hardest jobs, and spent about 3 weeks, I think, in June Landing, Port Alice there in our division, and a solid week with my crew. And he spent some time with the Fallers and other divisions, I guess, for the company. Yeah,
that was, I remember just like, him going through the motions and, learning how to be a logger, a West Coast logger, one of the most challenging and demanding jobs there is in the world, anywhere in the world. I mean, you were running crews up and down these side hills with, crazy slopes and setting chokers and on these massive logs and just this incredible stuff. But I remember when they produced the show, like there was a few episodes there, you kind of took the reins of the thing. They were highlighting you, and I remember there was a video, you're running up a log, carrying a choker and yelling at guys on the hill, and the narrator's a British guy in the background, and Trevor does the work of 10 men. I always remember that one. I'd always think, oh, it's such a great line.
Yeah, he put me on a pedestal there. So we had our little June Landing logger sports there at the same time, so we got to film some of that. So
that's right.
Fun.
Yeah, they gave you the handicap there. There was the block pulley, where you had to pick up an 80-pound block pulley and run an obstacle race. And to handicap you, they made you carry 2 of those. Remember that? One in each hand.
I think I had a lead for most of the race, but I ended up losing because you had to balance them on the top of the log when I was done, but because I had put one on top of the other, and I ended up losing some time at the end. But it was fun.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, there you go. There's the early days. That's the early days of Trevor on the West Coast, anyway, I guess. So I want to talk timber sports a little bit, of course. I'm curious, how exactly did you get introduced to the sport?
Roger Briscoe, Allison Briscoe's father, introduced me to the sport in 1998. So it's been quite a few years, but he's probably the biggest influence I've had over the years. He introduced me to pretty much all the events. Some of them he wasn't that good at himself. He wasn't a pole climber, but he knew the basics just from watching other people and taught me some stuff. And then I learned mostly from watching videos of Wade Stewart, Ryan McIntyre, guys like that at the time. And got to be fairly decent at it. It wasn't quite to their caliber, but I could climb in the low 20-second range for 80-foot climb up and down anyways. And was still up and went at Camp River a few years ago, and first time I climbed for 10 years. But I think I did a 25-second climb or so. But it was fun.
Not too bad at all. Well, and that's you competed a lot of years on the West Coast, and now competing a bit in the regional series here in the East Coast. What would you say the biggest differences? Obviously pole climb, but there's some pretty stark differences between the two ends of the country and the types of events, eh?
Yeah, there is a lot of differences. Maybe because I grew up or started on the West Coast, I kind of enjoyed that more. But I find they have more events out there. Typical show there, a lot of times I would have 12 or 13 events. And I wasn't even a log curler. That's another one I never did. I tried it a couple times, but it wasn't my thing. Got tired of getting wet. But I did excel more at the speed events, the pole climbing, the choker races, obstacle pole, and then they had a lot of site-specific ones, Grand Prairie Accuracy Cut, which they occasionally have on the East Coast, Molly Hogan races. There's a more double bucket sawing, I guess, with double bucket Jack and Jill. Whereas you don't see that as much on the East Coast, but no, more single bucking. But on the West Coast, pretty much every single show would have Jack and Jill on double buck, and I enjoyed that. Whereas the East Coast, you have bow saw, and the obstacle pole. Some shows have it, but I find it's much different. Everybody has to use the same saw. It's a little different rules, how you do your cut in the end, and where the lines are, and different things like that. So I find it's quite a different competing on the East Coast.
Yeah, sure. And I mean, that leads me into, I guess, a few years back, you come back, you're into the STIHL series. What have you found, coming back and really hammered, getting into the STIHL series and over the past few years? What has that experience been like for you?
The STIHL series is it's changed quite a bit over the years. And when I would have loved it when what they have the STIHL series now 20 years ago, but I think 20 years ago it was more of a U.S. series, and then developed into each country has their own, and getting back into it now. I thought it would take me a couple of years, but I think I've been back into it about 4 years after taking about 7 years off after I moved back home. But it's difficult with my job, traveling for work, building towers and things. But then get back into it here. I guess spot live in the country. It's a little easier to access wood and have a training place here. So I've been able to get back into it. It's the chopping and sawing. There's events for this, so it's 6 core events, which is different than competing on the West Coast where you're trying to train for 12 or more events. So you have to concentrate on those ones. I've never been a strong sawyer, but for single buck, if I don't finish last, I'm happy. But
I hear you.
But I usually can do okay with the chopping events, but I think my first year back, in the first couple of years, I did better, but I think work often dictates how much how well a person does, and how their job and career can sometimes limit the amount of training and I guess the amount of training and stuff, and it's what you put into it, it's what you get out of it, right? So I've got a new career now with arborist work and my own company, and was super busy in the fall and last summer, but was starting to get back into it now, or I was, and then I ended up getting hurt. But and then with this COVID-19, you can't really do much anyway. So I was hoping to get a lot of training in, get what I consider in good shape, and that's just a bit of a setback here for me.
You'll be back in no time, I'm sure. You talked about, of course, the 6 event format, the standard STIHL Series championship format. But again, now we have the Champions Trophy, and you're a very fit guy, and I feel like that is a well-suited format for you specifically. What do you think about? You've been in a few of them now. What do you think about the Champions Trophy, and do you feel like that may be an opportunity for you to potentially podium or win in the near future?
I think I have a better shot in the Champions Trophy than I do the other 6 division format there, or 6 event format. I guess the first year I competed and I finished 4th, and it was very close to George Williams there. He beat me by a swing or 2 there. Charlottetown.
Charlottetown, yeah.
Yeah, so it came pretty close in that. We're still very distant from Sterling Hart and Marcel, and then I think the Cumberlands have improved quite a bit since then too. And then Mitch I haven't seen him compete in it. He's sometimes he competes in that, sometimes he doesn't, but he would be pretty strong competitor too. He's pretty much the same age as me, but a much stronger chopper. He struggles with the single bucket like I do as well. To win, no, I don't think that's possible for me at this time. If I have a really good day, I'm training lots, might be able to get a third place finish, but that's as best I could hope for at this point. But yeah, I get a better shot in that than the other format.
Well, I mean, you've made some finals in the standard format, and like you say, it just barely missed the podium in the Champions Trophy and your first crack at it 2017 in Charlottetown. I'm hearing Mitch is back in the Champions Trophy this year in Red Deer, so
okay,
maybe you can put him in his place a little bit. Eh?
I can hope.
Yeah. No, I think I really like that event in general. I just think it's a really exciting event to watch, and I think it puts it gives different folks a different opportunity, and fitness is just such a high component of it. That I like your chances. So keep training for that. Once your ribs are feeling good and you can train, I think that's a good one to train for sure. Before we go, Trev, I got a couple of short light one for you. Quick answers. All right.
I'll see what I can do.
All right. Okay. What's a go-to axe in your box? One axe.
2 tie, 7 1/4 inch, 5/8 chisel, I think.
5/8. All right. What do you like more, chopping or sawing?
Chopping.
I've been 3 interviews so far. Nobody said sawing. I'll have to get a sawyer on here. If you could go head to head against anybody in the world, and I'll put a little subjective twist on this one. It can be Champions Trophy format. Doesn't have to be head in one specific event. If you could go head to head against any athlete in the world, who would it be?
George Williams.
Oh, wow. I like it. You got chip on your shoulder there? You want to take him down after that 2017 meeting or what?
He's improved a lot since then, and I really haven't put the time in. But yeah, it's always good to compete against somebody that's a little better than you, but you think you might have a shot at it still, right? So
for sure. I like it. It's a good answer. Yeah, George is a heck of an athlete, and he just gets better and better every year for sure. So he's putting the time in. Absolutely. All right, Trevor, I think prediction time. I want to know, who do you think takes home this year's Canadian Women's Championship?
I'll go with Danielle.
Danielle Koch. Okay, hey, not a bad pick. We had Danielle on the show just the other day. So, yeah, she's a strong competitor. I definitely think she's got what it takes, no question. And she was close last year, tied for points. Who wins the men's championship?
Nathan's going to be tough to beat. But I'd really like to see Marcel get back on there. I'm going to go with Marcel this year. He's had some unfortunate bad luck there the last couple of years. I think he's got what it takes.
Okay, right on. I like it. And a Champions Trophy. Who takes that?
I'm assuming Sterling's in that one still, and if he is, he's by far the favorite.
Yeah, right on. Well, Marcel was close to taking him last year in Sydney, so you never know, eh?
Yes, yeah. He's been second the last few years, I think. But
my video died on me here. I lost my video. We'll see if this. Okay, we're back. Hopefully that didn't die. We'll do some fancy production on the back end to make that look good, but. We'll leave it there, Trev. I want to thank you so much for taking the time for the interview here today. Heal up soon, and we're looking forward to seeing you back in the series this year, man.
Okay, thanks a lot. You warm up.
Yeah, thanks. All right, cheers. Stay safe, buddy. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Hi, folks. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe to STIHL Timber Sports Canada on all our social media platforms and catch all the future action of the original extreme sport.